Um, how do you remove your own emotions from the situation of doing a private reading?
Good. So you actually need your emotions. You need to have your mental thoughts there. You need to have your emotional thoughts there and your physicality there. What we've got to try and do is discern from our own and what is the communicators. What happens usually, our own get triggered by the communicator, and there's a reason for that. Because if they've triggered something within you, that means you've experienced it. That means you're able to describe it. But what we need to do is remember that emotion is not ours. We have to express it out. And as long as we're talking and expressing, we do not get caught. It's when we go, oh, got caught, and we go into it, that's when we turn the reference from being expressive to inward, and that really does trigger ourselves. Okay, there's nothing worse than a leaky medium. It does happen from time to time. I'm not very emotional, but when I do, it's hard for me because it really has touched something deep inside me. But what I do understand is that I've got to express it out, because it does not belong to me. The communicator is expressing it to the recipient. It's there for a reason, for them to feel it, for them to get emotional, because that's going to bring that relief to that grief that they're going through of that loss, whatever that loss is. So it's really important we understand that it needs to come out. And once we've got that perception of it, you'll do everything to describe it the best way to bring it across to your recipient. It's their tears, it's their emotions. The spirit will have brought it for that release.
And that links into a question that came in earlier on about, can we speak about the main attributes needed for spiritual development, mindset, faith, belief, discipline. What Phil has just spoken about is what we need to do. Many people do the mediumship development and forgo the spiritual development. Spiritual development is when we are able to go close to our own pain and not get sucked in and lost. Now, when we get sucked in and lost, we do that on our own time. And it might sound harsh, but if we are unable to go to our own pain and we need a communicator from the spirit world to bring us close to our own stuff, then it means we're not doing our job properly. We should go through our own, I'll not swear, stuff on our own shift, not because we're on the spirit world shift working for them. So if I'm doing a reading and something comes in, I know I did a reading probably about 2 months ago, and it was public, it was on Sunday Gathering, and a gentleman had been very, very, very abusive to his wife, horribly abusive. And it got in the way of me doing that contact. I remember having a conversation with Denise on the Tuesday morning, on the Monday night for me. And I said, that was a dog's breakfast, as you guys see over there. And I explained to her, I got in the way because my own experiences, I hadn't come to terms with them. It triggered something in me. I very quickly dealt with that. The very next week, another gentleman came in who was very, very, very abusive to his wife. And I got it because my stuff didn't get in the way. But I did that on my shift in that week in between. I sat in the power, I walked, I reviewed, I reflected and said, I can't allow my stuff to get in the way of my being in service to the spirit world. So it is about the attribute that are needed is the attribute of self-discovery, self-love, a willingness to let go, and a willingness to be authentically you, even if it's not nice stuff you're working through. I'm not a saint, I'm not a sinner either. I'm a bit of the both, same as all you. You are a bit of the both too. And if when you can get closer to that, then you can be on shift with the spirit world and be there. And then in between, do your work. So your mindset, your belief and your understanding are what you bring. If you do not fully believe in the spirit world, believe me, some mediums are still questioning this. You will not fully be able to sit in the essence of a real person because you'll be questioning whether they're real, and you will treat them as information. and you'll not surrender to their life experience, their loves, their losses, their pains, their hopes and their dreams. You become part of them for that moment. But if you're not sure if the spirit world exists, you're not going to be able to do them. You'll keep them at a distance and you'll not share your soul space with them. It's a very, very personal journey. You have to put everything that's you onto a plate and say, here's all that's me, all my warts and all. Please come and allow me to be the medium for you. And they'll bring their soul and put it on a plate. And then you get that beautiful blending of vulnerabilities in the same space. That is you being in service. That is your mindset and that skills and the belief. You just have to be vulnerable and authentically you, and not try and be the medium. Because when you're trying to be the medium, you treat that world as information. And that's the last thing that we want. It's something very, very sacred and very special. And I don't think we should ever underestimate the power of what we give the spirit world. That's just, I'm very passionate about it because I firmly believe that the spirit world don't get their voice heard true enough and often enough.